I'm Charlie Hagan, and I want to talk today about what we as individuals can do in the campaign to limit climate change and to limit greenhouse gases and greenhouse gas abatement. Now, when we're talking about what we can do in a campaign against climate change, it rapidly forms a two-fisted or a two-handed or perhaps a two-fisted approach. And on one side is what we can immediately do ourselves in our own homes. First and foremost, we can look at lighting, and we can change out the incandescent lighting in our home for LED bulbs, which are much more efficient. Illumination accounts for 10 to 15% of the national energy output. And when we switch those incandescent bulbs to LEDs, we're reaping about a 90% gain in efficiency. So it's very important to do that. We want to caulk and seal our residences, all right? And there are some online sites that will show you how to do this. There's some innovative ways of taking an incense stick or a little smoke stick and walking around the house on a windy day and seeing where the trail of smoke goes. Don't forget to seal the power receptacles inside your house that are installed against the outside walls. That's a weak point too. The other thing you want to look at is window treatments. If you don't have double-planed, energy-efficient windows, then I would suggest that you put a plastic window treatment on your windows. Barring that, for windows where you can spare the view, a cheaper alternative is to just use plastic bubble wrap on the windows and apply it with adhesive package tape. You want to back off the thermostat, and you want to be sure to limit your use of firewood. As you know, firewood is a virtually 100% carbon energy source, so we don't want to try and heat our homes with firewood, all right? On the alternate side of that, if you can plant trees, trees are the most effective form of carbon capture that we now have. So any biological expeditions that you can do to get a new arboretum started on your property would be very welcome. The other things that you can do as an individual is look at your methods of transportation. You want to keep your vehicle in top shape. You want to keep the tires fully inflated. But more than that, you want to limit your travel indulgences and consider public transportation. And of course, as we always say, recycle. Recycle everything. That saves energy and saves the environment. In my neighborhood, it's possible to call the electrical utility and fill out a form, and the electric utility will switch your home to renewable energy. Obviously, this is done in a virtual sense, but the electric utility takes this form, it charges a premium, I think it's about $50 a month, and that goes into its budgeting, and the utility can purchase more wind and solar energy from the local sources of renewable energy. So you can do that, or if you really want to make a commitment, you can put rooftop solar panels on your own home. Virginia has net metering, so you'll be compensated for all the energy that your solar panels generate, and there's a 30% federal tax credit for solar panels right now. So that's a very good commitment that you can make towards the climate crisis. Now, another thing that you can consider doing the next time you're in the market for a vehicle is buy a hybrid or energy efficient vehicle. You know, the Toyota Prius has been a success since 1997. Chevrolet now has the hybrid Volt, and next year Chevrolet will come out with the all-electric Bolt. It has a 200-mile range, and that vehicle will take you completely out of the extractive industry's carbon cycle. Okay, you'll be running off of electricity, hopefully renewable electricity, either from the utility or from your own rooftop. Now, when you're speaking about measures to help contain climate change as a whole, the first thing that you can do is write letters to the editor of your local newspaper. This is very important, and you don't have to be a Pulitzer Prize winner to write a letter to the editor. Just tell him how you feel, and the more voices that the letters to the editor show in the newspaper from the more different people, that raise their voice on this topic, the more attention that we'll get from our leadership and our politicians. Join a climate group, all right? This is an essential part to be able to have a voice as a group instead of just as individuals, and you need to support and donate these groups that are acting on our behalf in the climate environment. You can organize seminars and demonstrations, and you could be more effective as a group than you could ever be as an individual. One of the more difficult things to do, but something that's entirely necessary, is that individuals and groups need to have a presence in the regulatory and governmental bodies that are influential in the climate environment. That means going to the meetings from everything from your local parks and recreation, where they're talking about what kind of lighting they're going to put in the building, to the utility regulatory meetings, to state and even federal government regulatory hearings on the energy crisis. The final thing that you need to do to support environmentalism and limit climate change is political. Find the political candidate that agrees with your views, donate to their campaigns, and by all means, above everything else, vote.